Chris's house alarm keeps going off, by the way, and we wanted some advice on how to deal with intruders.
Yeah,
in your home.
My house has been broken into more times than anybody.
While you were in it?
A couple times, yeah.
In the middle of the night, like?
A lot of middle of the night. We had a big alarm system.
In New York?
No, in New Orleans.
Oh,
Growing
right.
up, my neighborhood was so bad. We had all these horrible break-ins, but, you know, my dad would go down with a baseball bat. But we were broke, too, and that was the crazy part. Like, everybody would break into our house and be like, well, this looks like my house. You know? But we were the white family, so everybody thought we were loaded because we had a big house.
Did you ever have to, did your dad or you ever have to, like, come face-to-face with an intruder and deal with it?
One guy was shit-faced, and he kept coming and banging on our door, and my dad was like, all right. As a family, we're going to have to tackle this guy and beat the shit out of him.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So we're like, okay, here we go. And, you know, I was 14. My brother's 16. My dad's got a bat. And we go out there, and it was a Girl Scout. So we almost beat the shit out of her.
She wouldn't. It would have been funny if you found out at the end. You already beat the shit out of her.
Yeah, no, we killed her.
Turn her over. He's like, oh.
We got those trefoils, though.
That's like Sergio Chacon, good friend of the show, guy works with me on all the road dates. Sergio Chacon, tatted up, you know, Puerto Rican boxer,
he can
guy
scrap.
who's not scared of anything. He was telling me this story. Across the street from his apartment, he was looking out the window. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. He hears like a glass break, like psh, whatever. And he's like, so he, you know, his apartment's all on one floor. He goes, looks out the window. He's on a ground floor apartment. So he's looking. He like peeks through the window. He sees this woman, like who's like on, like she looked like she's like possessed by Satan. He said she was like all crazy, like boogie on or whatever. He said she was doing this thing where she was just staring, like out a window, just staring with a hammer. Right?
Whoa.
This is 3 o'clock in the morning. God. She's just staring with a hammer. Right? She tries to like get in to like this window, like he said she would try to get into the window, open it, and then just step back, and then just look at the window, try to get open, and then finally she starts walking down the street backwards, like literally backwards, going. He said, Sergio said that's the only time in my life where he was like, if she would have come running towards my apartment, I would have left and I would have ran away and left my family alone. He's like, because he said it was like demonic. He's like, it's the only time I ever saw like a demonically possessed woman. Even him telling me the story, I like get like goosebumps because he's like, dude, I was terrified. And for a guy like Sergio to be terrified, it's got to be, I mean, it's either that or the police.
Sounds like PCP or something.
Yeah.
Probably was.
I used to live in not a great neighborhood in Staten Island when I was little.
Is that the name of it? Not a great neighborhood?
Yeah. Not a great neighborhood.
I never heard of that town.
And we lived actually downstairs from my grandparents, right? And one time my mom was going out at night, and this was back when you had to like actually call a cab company.
Right.
So me and my sister are downstairs. My grandparents watched us. They were upstairs. My mom calls the cab company. Cab comes, beeps, right? So my mom's like, all right, guys, I'll see you in a little while. This one will be home. Kisses goodnight. She goes to walk outside, opens the door, and then as she's opening the front door to the house, down the steps, it was like we were up like a lot of steps outside. The cab drives away. So she's like, what the hell? Like, he just beeped. She's like, what the hell? So she gets back out. She calls the cab company. She's like, yeah, I called a cab. The guy beeped. I was out there in under a minute, and he drove away. And she's like, what's the address? And he goes, no, some guy ran out of that house and got in the cab. Whoa. So we had a foyer. Before you get in the house, we had a foyer.
Wow.
And I guess somebody was in the foyer trying to come into the house, and when the cab beeped in front of the house, he knew that the cab was waiting for someone, and he ran out, jumped in that cab, and said, take me somewhere. She goes, no, a guy is in that cab right now, and he came out of your address.
Oh my God.
Isn't that
Lucky
wild?
For him. I mean, that's a gift from God for the burglar.
I know,
Like,
but the foyer was like, let's say this is the foyer, this is the door outside. Our rooms were right on the other side of that glass.
The kids' rooms.
No, it was my mom's room, but it was also like connected to like the living room thing, and we were right there, but there was shades down.
You didn't hear a thing.
A thing.
Holy
scary,
shit.
right?
We got broken into probably 3 times in 2 weeks. It was getting really bad. They were taking the TV, the bikes, all the shit, and they would tear your house up. That's the worst part about a break-in is they look for stuff.
Yeah.
So my dad said that's enough. He called the cop station. The cops sent 2 guys down. They're like, we're gonna sleep in your kitchen for the night, or not sleep, but stake out in the kitchen, and we're gonna catch these guys. So I'm 10. I'm like, this is exciting. I'm upstairs, I'm all excited. I'm thinking I'm gonna come downstairs. They're gonna cuff these 2 guys who keep breaking in, whoever it is. I come downstairs like 7 in the morning. The cops had left, They ate everything in the fucking kitchen. We got robbed again. The fridge was empty. All the cereal boxes were turned over. The Pop-Tarts, they got it all.
They got it all.
Yeah.
And then nobody ever. That's hilarious.
Did you get robbed in the city for a bunch of cash?
Many times, yeah.
Jesus, dude.
3 times in a year got mugged in the
God.
city.
Wow.
I mean, it was my fault. Not to victim blame, but I was in a blackout every time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just like the white guy in Brooklyn, like bouncing off the walls, drunk and
Easy target.
easy. I was a sitting duck.
Did someone crawl in your apartment? I thought I heard
Oh
somebody.
yeah, that was in the village. That was in the village. Yeah.
Someone crawled in.
Somebody opened my window on the second floor in the 10th Street in the West Village, and nothing was gone, but I had a big drawer full of cash.
Same thing happened to me.
Get out of here. Every night after sets, I just throw 20s in, 50s, 100, and I was like, one day I'm going to deposit that, and I can't wait to see how it is. Over years, it was about $6,000. I had a knife in there. I had shrooms. I had weed. I had some pills. I had
All
a
in one
variety-
same drawer. Right?
I love a cool guy drawer, you know. I had a slingshot and some porn, you know. And he just scooped all the cash up, took the slingshot and the porn, and got out of there.
Yeah,
Wow,
I came
what
home
a
from.
scumbag.
I got off the bus
was
to
Gary
come home.
Veter.
I got off the bus, came home from high school one day, and the cops were in front of my house, and the door was pushed in.
Yeah.
And my dad, I went in, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, they robbed the house. I'm like, who? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, would they take? Everything was turned over on all the floors. The only thing they took was cash out of the drawer in my room.
That's it.
And I was
They
in
knew
high
where it
school.
was.
They
Drug
threw all- no, they
addicts.
threw all the things. And then later on, my dad, we were investigating who did it, and he had a disagreement with the neighbor, and we have it on good authority that the neighbor paid someone to break in and rob the house.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. They caught my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did a fucking fingerprint thing. They got one print. Months later, the guy robbed someone on the Upper West Side, matched the print.
Wow.
Yeah, but they took cash, so he can't get it back.
Now, did you find anything out about him?
He was like a 56-year-old black guy. He was old,
Right.
but he must have been pretty agile to get in my window. He had to climb the fire escape and do all that shit.
And he must have maybe he would watch you at the cellar and knew what you were doing.
I know I posted my dates. I was like, maybe he's a follower. But but my window is right next to the bed. It was a tiny apartment. And he came in through the window, so he had to step on my bed. And every night I'd hear a tree branch. I couldn't sleep for like 6 months because it fucked me
That's
up.
terrible.
Yeah. The violating. It's so violating.
Yeah. I feel violated right now.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you some money.
Don't be a fake, don't be a flake, don't run away from your feelings, babe.